Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. Today, I'm your host, Alan, and we are delighted that you've chosen to join us on this awesome August morning. And one of the things we enjoy besides the summer is we love to connect to so many people through YouTube, through Facebook. And so I encourage you to check out our website, cslcharlotte.org, put in a prayer request, and subscribe. We're always adding something new each and every week. So who are we at CSL Charlotte? Well, we're a new thought community based on the science of mind. This philosophy was developed in the early 20th century by writer and lecturer Dr. Ernest Holmes. Dr. Holmes was a man on a mission. He combined truths and wisdom from all the world's traditions and spiritual paths, and created in order to create a fresh new way to look at ourselves and how we fit into this wonderful world. So what do we do here at CSL Charlotte? Well, we're a diverse community who openly and affirmingly accept others. It doesn't matter your race, your sexual orientation, or any other physical distinction, because we recognize that we're all individualized expression of that divine light that lives within all of us. And we also recognize many holy scriptures, such as the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Tao Te Ching, just to name a few examples. So why are we here? Our vision is to live these truths so we can inspire other people to transform their lives and thus create a better world for everybody that works for all. So if you would like to learn how to do that, then I encourage you to check out our Tuesday night weekly consciousness meetings at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And we give you the tools to do just that. So before I pass the mic over, I'd like to read you a thought for the week. Authenticity is the alignment of head, mouth, heart, and feet. Thinking, saying, feeling, and doing the same thing consistently. This builds trust, and followers love leaders they can trust. And that is a quote by Lance Secretan. And with that, I'll pass the mic over to our fabulous, radiant Reverend Rosedale Jones.
Ooh, good morning, everyone. That's fabulous. I love that quote. And you're using consistency and things that's in the talk, so that's really, really cool. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to CSL Charlotte. We are the Mind, Body, Spirit Center. And today, our focus is on aligning with, what's my word? Quantum manifestations. That means the smallest manifestations you can imagine that we're going to align ourselves with today. But first, we're going to have a prayer so we can set the tone for our talk. And the beautiful voice that we're going to hear comes from Maureen Thurston. She is our spiritual practitioner, and she is loving, and you can tell it through her voice. So with that, make sure you're listening for yourself to be aligning with these quantum manifestations. Mo, let's go ahead and do our prayer.
I know that we are blessed beyond measure for being part of this CSL community with Reverend Rosedale. I know that she touches each and every one of us to the core of who we are with her message here today, and that we are fed and nurtured and loved by everything that takes place here this morning. I know everything runs smoothly and easily, that we have no hiccups. I call this time together blessed and exciting, and I am so grateful to be part of this amazing community. As I release and I let go, I know that we are one with the divine, one with spirit, and that we are blessed beyond any type of measurement. And so it is.
Beautiful, and so it is. So next on our platform, I think this next person, she might know a little bit about aligning with those quantum manifestations, the smallest energy in the planet. And since she's doing the reading, she's going to tell us a lot more about these little beautiful things that run around us in the quantum field. And after Melissa's reading, Melissa Spiegler, that is, after her reading, listen to the song Stronger Than You Know by Fearless Soul. And when you listen to that song, really hear you. Melissa, make it do what it do.
Thank you so much, Reverend Rosedale. It is a beautiful morning to talk about such a wonderful message that you'll be giving. And with that, I have a powerful message and reading for y'all. And it is a soulful quantum reading. The Whisper Before the Wave by Reverend Rosedale Jones. The energy that ignites creation doesn't roar, it whispers. It begins in the smallest movement, the faintest feeling, the barely there intention fluttering behind our eyes. Before manifestation shows into the visible, it sways gently in the quantum field, as if it's waiting for us to align with it. This means something to us. To be alive is to be a current in the river of vibration, not observers of reality, but co-creators of birth. Our emotions are tuning forks, aligning with those pulses of truth. When they ring with oneness, the quantum field hears, responds, and begins. We're not chasing manifestations. We're birthing them, molecule by molecule, mood by mood. How we align is not to force, but by surrender. By letting go of borrowed expectations and returning to the blueprint of our inner knowing. Each breath we take with awareness becomes an invitation. Each moment of self-approval is recalibration. We stand still and suddenly energy shifts. It's not because we're demanding it, but it's because we remembered we're a part of it already. Quantum is the tiniest energy. A single atom moving in alignment carries the code of transformation. It's the microtone in a song that heals, the vibration that says yes to truth. And when we mirror that subtle harmony in ourselves through feeling, not thinking too hard, we become portals, not to things, but to the felt reality of being deeply connected and vibrantly alive. What do you think quantum manifestation is really about? Not things, not goals, but unity. It's the universe echoing our authenticity back to us. It's your joy vibrating at a frequency that pulls joy from the quantum field. It's your love creating openings where love rushes in. First you feel it, then you notice that it's already there. It's already here. It's you, dear one. You are the energy, the observer and the observed, the breath and the wind. And here's a final quote by Reverend Rosedale. When we resonate in oneness with the quantum field, we become architects of all possibilities. And so it is.
We'll start with a short centering. Relax your eyes by looking into your lap or closing them if you choose. Now, I invite you to take a breath with me and slowly release it. According to this song by Fearless Soul, You're Stronger Than You Know. You are stronger than you know. You're more capable than you've ever dreamed. Are you realizing that you are loved more than you could possibly imagine. Let those words echo into your heart in this moment. Alignment creates empowerment and it's instilled with strength. But alignment also triggers the power within us to attract us to our quantum manifestations. We are aligning with them all because of what we're feeling. But now, aligning with quantum manifestations doesn't work by force. That it works with grace, and you're going to find out what happens when we're doing too much forcing. So feel that strength that's already, you heard Melissa, that's already in you. Because being that you're already enough, you're at a place of wholeness where everything becomes possible. So let this song feel good for you today and let it remind you to start aligning with your quantum manifestations. So wiggle your fingers and your toes and integrate your mind, body, and spirit. And take a few minutes to really feel these breaths. Breathe some more with ease. Oh my God, breath is vitality. Breath is strength. Breath is healing. Now embrace the energy in your space and then start aligning with manifestations. You will, when you find out more about it. So, before I begin, let me talk about expressing my deep and most powerful appreciation for science. You see, science is not separate from spirit. It's all one. It's all God. Now, science describes the invisible world in terms of atoms and quantum events, and the visible world as matter, tangible. But spirituality speaks of the invisible world as energy and the visible world as the physical realm. So in essence, they're both talking the same languages, but they're just using different perspectives or perception or perspectives, whatever which one they want to use. But we're always talking about the same things. If you really think about it, we're just coming from different perspectives. So I love how science explores what we can measure. And spirituality is the embodiment of the invisible energy, the invisible field, the quantum field that surrounds us. But it's all done through spiritual practice. So, to embody means to become, to embody means to become the manifestations that we actually want to live. That's what I want to be. That's how I want to live. That's what I want. So rather than seeing these as opposites, science and spirituality, I see them as partners. Science reveals structure and spirit brings that structure to life. And that's where I want to begin. Right at the intersection of what we can see and what we can sense, of what we can measure and what we can actually feel. So, where matter meets meaning and where energy becomes experience is where we want to be, at that intersection. So for now, atoms and quantum are the smallest energy in the universe. And I say for now because science is constantly evolving and learning more things and bringing it to us, if we'll listen to it. See, this is the deal. Our bodies are all part of it. They hold this soft rise after meditation, and it really calls us to self-approval and self-awareness naturally. So Melissa read about that self-approval, that each moment of self-approval is a recalibration. When we're in spiritual practice, we get back into our self-improvement approval with this recalibration. Because what we're doing in spiritual practice is, like she's reading, we stand still and suddenly energy shifts. And that All happens in the stillness of spiritual practice. So she also read, it's not because that we demanded it, remember. It's because we remembered we are already part of it. So that said, there are many names for God. Before I get going on this, there are many names for God. We just have to remember that it's all energy, right? And we also remember this. We can call God all the names that we know vibrate with us. Because why? What we call God tunes energy toward that alignment. It really tunes it, but you got to call it, you got to bring it. The quantum field is what I personally refer to God as this at this moment in my life. Maybe next month I'll be calling it something else, but as long as it resonates with me, I see the quantum field as a place of so many possibilities. You see, it's all energy. It's all God. God, spirit, quantum field, whatever you name it. God is the energy that responds to our vibrations, not to our reasoning mind. Well, if so and so did that, then I should. Nope, that's reasoning. That is not energy. It's not influenced by our logic. It's influenced by our thought pattern. Oh, how we're thinking. Oh, vibration and our emotional frequency. Now, it helps me personally to embody the invisible world. I'm constantly looking for it in my mind's eye. It really helps me to embody that energy, the quantum field that surrounds me, and the divine intelligence that I know is in there. So when you feel in alignment and when your emotions are harmonized with your desire, then you begin transmitting. Transmitting, listen to that word, transmitting that pattern. Now, this is what happens when when you start transmitting. The field, the quantum field is lavishly, constantly reflecting it right back to you. If I had a mirror, I'd be looking at that because that's the field telling me what's going on in here. It's all about me matching my mind, body, spirit, and the field together. That's all it's about. And so matching our mind, body, and spirit is how the field transmits our manifestations. That's how we actually align ourselves with them, by matching. So the outer world reflects what's in here because of what we believe in here. Now, here's something to think about. Not atoms nor our feelings need to be seen in order to shape this reality. Because why? We don't command the field with this. Besides that, the command means that we're trying to force things. Remember? Force signals that we don't trust our good. We don't trust that the good is already ours to affirm. So we're sitting there making all these affirmations that we don't quite believe because we really don't trust. But forceful energy communicates these things: lack, it communicates urgency, it communicates fear. But if we are mournful, if we're not feeling up to par, the field vibrates that. And what we get out of that is our manifestation. So do you want things that you're feeling mournful about? Well, remember this, the field is a magnet to our energy. It's attached to us. So when we harmonize with our vibration, we become creators of our manifestations. Now, the quantum field is alive, it's magnetic, and it's energetic, but it connects us through the vibrations that we carry. We all carry these vibrations, and that's what aligning our quantum manifestations is all about. So the field doesn't respond to logic, remember that, or effort. You don't have to effort yourself together. And it responds to our vibrations, to what we're feeling. So if you're feeling emotionally good, then you have coherence between you and the quantum field, or you and what you call God, you and spirit. But your emotions are right there with it. Because see, again, the field doesn't command. We don't command the field. And because what happens is commanding and, woo, I want to strengthen my body to feel this. Nope, that's forcing and that's resistance. And so that's how the field reads it. So relaxation and vibrations are actually open. Relaxation and vibration opens us to the flow. Trying too hard means that you're aligned with, it's not here yet. And if you have that thought, if your focus is on it's not here yet, that's what you're going to align with, it not being here yet. So that your quantum manifestations, it's not here, that's the quantum. The very small little thought is what you're going to manifest. It's not here. I'm looking, it's not here. So you won't get what you want, you will get what you think and what you believe. So doubt shows that your focus is on, I don't believe I can do this. Control, trying to make sure everything goes right, it shows that I don't really trust the flow. But now desperation shows that your focus is totally on, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. See, the quantum field doesn't deliver what we ask for. It delivers what we're aligned with. The quantum field is a beautiful, like I mentioned earlier, sea of possibilities. There's so many. In God, in spirit, there's a sea of possibilities. It's influenced by how you see things, how you believe things, and how you feel things. Many people, like I was saying a couple of seconds ago, they repeat affirmations they really don't believe. But the thing is, you have to get ready to align with those things that you're really saying and say to yourself, aligning with with quantum manifestations actually works with my feelings. So what should I realize? What I should realize is this. My action speaks louder than my words. My feeling speaks louder than my words. My emotion speaks louder than my words. The quantum field is not here. I am blissfully happy. That is not what it's listening to. Visualizing is another piece that we have to come up with. People think that, oh, I'm going to visualize my future, or I'm going to go do some visioning. Well, visualization without emotional understanding impairs your manifestations too. So you can say, oh yeah, I do visioning all the time. But you can say you see whatever you want, but the body is still living in fear. The body speaks louder than words in that sense, in that instance. So embodiment is alignment. And when we fully embody something, we become it. That's what embodying means, is to become. Change happens exactly when we align ourselves with what we believe and what we want to be. So spiritual practice is a key tool that supports this process. A few years ago, I remember I chose to embody love. I wanted to be loved. That's what I wanted. So embodiment means become. So I wanted to become love. So since embodiment is alignment, when I truly decided to embody love, that meant that I had to be self-love. I had to love me. That's who I had to love. And first I had to do that. So for me, actually, being loved began with me loving myself unconditionally, no matter what. If I looked in the mirror and said, oh, you got grits around your eyes or whatever, so you're not this or whatever. But you know what? Over time, my true self-love it started to come about. All of the, what is that word I call it? What is it? Imposture. You know, imposter syndrome? Yeah, imposter syndrome. All that stuff began to dissolve when I started to really feel like who I am. And so when I fall short, even now, when I fall short of my best self, I return to myself and I start to re-embody that love. So true manifestation happens through thought, it happens through emotion, and it happens through the nervous system. And we have to be in complete alignment in order for the manifestation to come in the way we want, because that is what coherence is about. It has to be sending harmonious signals to the quantum field. And then that's how we start aligning with our quantum manifestations. So I'm talking all this heavy talk to you today because that's how I'm feeling right now. But I just need to tell you a couple of practices. Maybe this will make it like easier. Take 5 practices, and there's thousands of them, but I'm going to use 5. And one would be embodied meditation. Now, if you can just go with me for a second, it's just simply sitting quiet, not stopping the mind. And then you just ask yourself a question. How would my body feel if I became what I want? How would my body feel if I became rich? Because that's what I want. So how's my body going to feel based on that? Or how would my body feel if I became a married individual? That's not my one. No, I'm just kidding. But how would my body feel if I became that? So here's what you do. After you ask that question, continue to breathe to see how that feeling feels until it begins to feel real to you. This is what I want. Feel it. Here's another practice. It's called heart-brain coherence. Breathe deeply into the heart. Recall some moments of your life when you were in peace, you were feeling joy, and you were totally in gratitude about things. There was a period you did that. Then there was a period you just went and stopped doing it. And when you stopped doing it, everything turned to flop, didn't it? I don't know. But let the feeling that you're beginning to feel that you had felt before, that joy, that peace, that gratitude, let it begin to expand inside you. And after you do that, you're going to see. Now, I'm saying this to you, but the only way you got to believe it is you got to try it. This is going to create such an emotional alignment for you that is so easy for you to align with your quantum manifestation, the smallest energy in the planet, in the universe. Number 3 is an identity rehearsal. Don't visualize what you want. Rehearse who you need to be to become what you really want. Practice that. How would you walk down the street if you knew you had it like that? How would you walk down the street if you knew you was living in, Alan's talking about going to Mexico, living in Mexico, walking, how would you feel? Do you practice that? Do you become that person? Practice that daily, every day. I breathe all the time when I remember, breathe. When I start, like if my chest is bothering me because of the air conditioning in places or whatever, I just get into the breathe. And it's just amazing how those little simple things. But here's another thing. Number 4, when you start creating and repeating your affirmations, what happens? That is an affirmation. Those things are things you have to affirm, but you got to try working on believing it. Affirmations must resonate. They must resonate. So repeat them every day. You might want to say something like this every day. I am becoming a powerful receiver. Just become. Just keep saying, I'm becoming a powerful receiver. I'm becoming a powerful receiver. And then eventually you begin to see that. So regulate the nervous system. And that's the last one, number 5. Regulate your nervous system. And how do you do that? Again, the breath work. When you breathe in through the diaphragm, you actually breathe in and expand your nerves, your muscles, and everything in your body. And then when you let it out through the lips and slowly let it release, you relax. When you relax that nervous system, your true nature begins to calm. And so here's another thing in this practice of regulating the nervous system. Journaling, all right? Walking in nature, all of these things, and stretching. Again, you're taking that body into a whole new dimension by moving it. So a regulated body allows energy to flow. So regulate that nervous system. Allow the energy to flow. It's not seeable, but it's there. So just do this. Be the frequency. Be the frequency. Be the vibration. Because we're not, as you heard in the reading, we're not here to chase things. We're tuning into the energy of already having them. Matching our vibrations with our desire is key to aligning ourselves with our quantum manifestations, the smallest energy that you cannot see. Remember, this field around us is magnetic. It just connects. So just remember in the reading, Melissa read it, we're not chasing manifestations, we're birthing them. One molecule by molecule, mood by mood. See, the mood of the field matches the mood of us to transmit our manifestations to us. So remember, the field isn't judging you. It mirrors your frequency. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you become. And just have this real life integration going on in your mind all the time that alignment is a way of living. Visit coherent states as much as you can. Try to stay in coherence as much as you can. Let them become your identity. Because remember this, you're not broken, you're not blocked, you are being invited to become that thing you would like to live. Relax into that becoming. Create some affirmations like, I no longer force or chase. I feel this relief. I feel relaxed and I now receive. Stuff like that. Because the quantum field is responding to the truth of who I am. So I've been on the journey so long, and my journey was starting at angst back in the day, and it's always going back to peace, from angst to peace all the time. But there was a time that I felt anxious all the time, and this time became so engrossed in me that I didn't feel worthy. I carried this chronic feeling, by the way, of I don't feel worthy. I feel worthless. So the field mirrored back the inner field, and guess what? I got horrible manifestations left and right for about 2 or 3 years. But then things began to shift because I started studying this philosophy and my life changed. I started taking these classes. I started listening to other people in the classes, watching them share, listening to them, thinking, wow, we're all the same. We all want things in life. We just want to love. We just want to love ourselves. And I started applying these practices to myself, and I started being very consistent. Consistency and Alan's quote spoke really much volumes to me. Consistency is the key. It's the key to now. So my affirmations began working, and that was the turning point of me. So all that time I was working at this, but I wasn't sure it was working. But what the turning point became was I started believing these affirmations that I started saying. My practice of self-love outweighed my practice of self-rejection. I was downhill a lot. But I stopped hiding my potential and my intelligence from people because I was always a smart girl. But I always pretended that I wasn't because I was going along to get along. That doesn't work for me. I stopped and I no longer try to please people. I said, no, that doesn't work for me. Remember this, your environment affects your frequency, your vibration. And see, being around people, living with people who are not in your league tells the field, I don't want to grow. Think about that. You hanging around this situation. I hung around that situation. I saw all my family and friends. I'm not judging anything, but I just said, I am so glad I left this. I started choosing growth oriented, like-minded people. And as I did that, and as time moved on, I started having conversations with people of like minds. And they were basically where? In the spiritual communities I was a part of and everything like that. I started having these sincere conversations with these like-minded people. And what do we talk about? Instead of problems and anger and gossip, we talked about power, joy, and abundance. So who are you talking to? Who are you around? The mutual confidence of all the people I've been around lately in the last couple of years, and all the confidence between them and in the classes we are reflecting this stuff to each other back and forth. And it amplified for me. This changed my life. So it sounds like, oh, no, I don't know. But you know what? We started forming great relationships with each other. That changed my life. Because quantum manifestations worked for me. And I never stopped studying me. I stay in practice. I stop choosing to be in places that I don't really like this 100%. If I'm just touching, kind of liking it, I got to go. I choose to be in uplifting environments. I went to a place a couple of weeks ago and I wanted to see what that center was all about in a different location here. And I said, no, this doesn't move me. And that's okay. Because I decided that I'm going to become the change and that quantum field is going to respond to that change. It's not going to respond to me going backwards on my word. See, I embody the change that I wish to see and I wish to experience. And that means that I become that change. And that's how I live and that's how I manifest without resistance. And you're no different. The work I do is rooted in the spiritual journey. I've been living this spiritual journey for so many years, so I can constantly say, I'm embodying peace, I'm embodying self-love, right down to my cellular level, right into my cells. I can continuously become the version of that person I need to change to every now and then. Every now and then I tell myself, hey, wait a minute, you're not feeling it. This ain't working. And nothing is exciting me right here and right now. So then I start to look around. Who are you with? Who are you spending your time with? Who are you talking to? And watch my life re-unfold. Because when I desire something, whether it's deeper connection, whether I need to be aligned in better relationships, or if I need lasting peace, I don't just visualize it. I become it. I embody it. I become the kind of person that I enjoy being around. I am someone who attracts these meaningful relationships, and I have ease, and I have this feeling of richness in me. And I'm not meeting those people or outcomes that are not, what is it called? Measuring up to what I am. So sometimes that requires me to grow, and I decide to go ahead and do that. So become that person. That's all my bottom line is become that person who lives what you desire to live. Become that person who is. Look at them. Watch how they think. Watch how they speak. Watch where they go. And be that, because that's how you can be that change that you want to see. But in order to be that change that you want to see, you have to become that change. So listen to the song, Be the Change That You Wish to See. And that is also by Fearless Soul. Beautiful. I will be the change I wish to see. You got to be the change you wish to see. There is no combination. Life don't come with instructions. It doesn't have to sound like something that's beautiful and floral. Oh, I'm so fabulous. But there's no combination to the lot. But the key is, yes, it might be scary to try to leap into the unknown, but it might feel even more unfamiliar if you say yes to that deeper inner calling in you. I know how this sounds today for you, but get it. Be that calling. Be that sacred change that you're wishing. Listen, whisper, it's all inside of you. Your invitation is aligning with the quantum manifestations. Be the change you wish to see in this world. Wow, awesome, Timmy P. So if you wanted to know what this talk was all about, you got it from Timmy P as usual, because he can tell you exactly what it was. What did he tell me? You gave us keys, and that's what he likes, and I think he's fabulous. So thank you, Timmy P, for the announcements. And now it's time for me to give everybody some big time shout outs. And that goes to Alan Lilly, our MC. He started it off with he already things that he knew before I even talked. And opening and closing prayer was our beautiful Maureen, who was our spiritual practitioner, and Melissa, her reading was just so on point and well read. So she has a fabulous reading style. So I have to say again, woohoo, thanks, Melissa, that was good. And it was, you read with great sound. And thank you, Melissa, for spotlighting and greeting. That's awesome as well. And thanks, Timmy P. You keep those announcements and you always keep us on point of what we just heard. And you always get that music right on point for us. And before our last song, let's consider this. Today was a heavy talk. It was all about aligning with quantum manifestations. Guys, you got to remember that during this week. Because when we say, I release and let go, you got to release and let go so that the field doesn't take that load in there with it and reverse it back to you and manifest that to you. Let's look closer at what we're not doing. We are not chasing, right? We're not giving our lives away to spirit just because we say I release and let go. We're maintaining. That's what we're doing. So realize that we are one with spirit. The energy that we're going to be talking about in this next song, when we call spirit, is the same as divine intelligence. It is the same as what I call the quantum field. It is the I am within me. So we're not just letting spirit run our lives as something separate. So we allow our highest wisdom to merge with us in these smallest manifestations, the smallest energy of the world. So I want you to hear this song and hear it clearly, but hear it the right way. That there is something with me, but it's not running my life. I'm running it with it. So listen to the song, I Release and Let Go by Michael Gott. Woo woo! Now that we have explored aligning with the quantum manifestation, we could just let it all go and let go of control, let go of relying on other people and circumstances around you. And Mo, are you ready to pray us out?
Yes, ma'am, I am. So what I know is that I am going to carry through for this week the message that Reverend Rosedale gave us today. I will keep it within my heart, within my mind, within my consciousness, and will carry it through and keep emulating what it is that I want to express. I know that as each and every one of us goes into this week, that we go through with a light step, for we are always carried in the loving arms of Spirit, and we are always part and parcel of the divine, expressing life as individuals and as this amazing CSL community. We are blessed, we are loved, we are valued and appreciated for who we are and what we do. I release and I let go, and I surround each and every one of you with love, with passion, with consciousness, and a lightness of spirit in your hearts. And I know that you carry it forward and radiate it throughout the week with ease and grace. And so it is.
And so it is, Mo. Thank you for taking that talk and bringing it to life within me, because you just did. And I appreciate that beautiful prayer for us taking it for the rest of the week. So, as we wrap up today, and this beautiful time that we had together, I know that aligning with quantum manifestations and my science is heavy, but it's happening, baby, 24/7 for all of us, for you and for me. We just got to be aware of it, and I have to make sure that everybody's aware. So when we leave this sacred space today, start aligning with your quantum manifestations, because you see, it's aligning with the field, the quantum field. You can't say it. You just got to become it. And become it and be the change you wish to see in this world. Because you know why? The universe is always responding to what we reflect and what we say. So understand that and know that it's also supporting you on your path. And so until we meet again, remember, you're stronger than you know. So start it right now. Start aligning with your quantum manifestations. And so it is.